My sister faked a medical emergency to ruin the biggest day of my life. Last weekend, I returned the favor at her dream wedding. My sister Clara has hated me since the day I was born because she felt as though she wasn't the center of attention anymore. No matter what I did, she always tried to shift the focus onto herself. So when I heard the loudest scream ever coming from the front row during my graduation, I already knew who it was. My sister had collapsed while clutching her throat. People rushed in to help and heard her say, "Allergic reaction, can't breathe." The celebrations were halted and an ambulance arrived to take her to the hospital. My entire family had left to be with her and told me that my graduation party was canceled. After the doctors found out there was nothing wrong, she sent me a text that said, "You didn't deserve that moment, so I took it away," followed by a winky face. I couldn't do anything since I knew my parents would never believe me despite the proof. But that day I decided I was going to play the long game. I pretended I had forgiven her and acted like the perfect sister. If she needed money, I was the first one to offer help. Whenever she went shopping, I went with her to hold her bags and give suggestions. Then came the perfect moment for my revenge, her wedding. As soon as she got engaged, I started helping with invitations, planning and gushing over her dress. I called her the perfect girl in the entire world, and she ate it up. Maybe you're not so useless after all. That was just one of the many texts I was collecting. She declared me as her maid of honor and confessed how she was duping her fiancé. She had taken money from him to donate to charity, but pocketed it herself on multiple occasions. The morning of her wedding, I took a long sip of ipecac syrup. I staggered into the venue with pale skin and a lot of sweat, telling everyone I had food poisoning. Everyone rushed to help me, including my sister's soon-to-be husband. That's when I tripped and accidentally dropped printouts of all her conversations. Her confession about faking that emergency at my graduation, her insulting the guests at her wedding, and her calling her fiancé as her cash cow. I knew that my parents still wouldn't believe me, but her fiancé was a different story. He looked through the printouts with a blank face, asking her if all this was true. She turned to me and screamed, "You planned this!" But screaming at a person who's suffering on the ground is always going to backfire. The groom left the venue that day and sued my sister for all the money she had stolen from him. The groom said she not only stole his money under the premise of charity, but also made him enter a marriage contract under false pretense. This allowed him to get an annulment, and my sister lost devastatingly. She owed him thousands of dollars and went to our parents to beg for their help. But ever since the wedding, their phones had been swarmed by people asking how they allowed my sister's behavior. They were fed up, and for the first time ever didn't cover for her mistakes. They told her to go pay the settlement fee herself and kicked her out of their house. She couldn't believe her biggest supporters turned their backs on her, so she tried one last-ditch attempt to manipulate the situation again. She launched a lawsuit against me for emotional distress, claiming I had no right to blow up her wedding. The judge took one look at the printouts I had dropped and realized my sister wasn't even sad about the wedding. She was only sad about losing her cash cow. She was laughed out of court and ended up taking her own life because she had lost all her friends and family.